The upcoming 2026 Formula One regulations have sparked controversy, and it seems the drivers aren't holding back their frustrations. The latest to join the growing list of critics is Lance Stroll. Now, while the Canadian driver might not be the most respected name on the grid, the points he's raising are surprisingly valid. Stroll now joins a club that includes drivers like Max Verstappen and others who are openly skeptical of the 2026 cars. But here's the real question. Are the drivers stuck in a no-man's land while certain team principals insist the FIA is heading in the right direction? And, more importantly, can they influence changes that will keep fans truly excited about the sport? There's no denying that the 2026 regulations are set to stir up major drama in the Formula One world. And now, Lance Stroll is the one dropping bombshell comments. Yes, the Aston Martin driver has often faced criticism for his presence in Formula One, mainly due to his father's influence within the team, but this time, fans might actually be on his side. According to Stroll, the new regulations feel less like racing and more like a science project, an experiment by the FIA that in his eyes makes little practical sense. Putting even more pressure on the governing body, despite knowing it's already late in the process, Stroll explained, "We'll get a bit of an idea in the test and then in Australia, but the regulations, I think, are a bit sad. I've driven it in the sim, and that's why I'm a bit sad. It's a shame that in Formula One, we're talking about the path of electric energy, and we've had to take all the downforce off to support the battery power. It would just be fun to see some light, nimble, fast cars with lots of downforce, and just to simplify the whole thing a little bit. So, less of an energy battery championship science project, and more of a Formula One racing championship." Now, let's not forget the main focus of the 2026 rule changes. Electrification. The power unit is at the center of it all, with battery output set to increase from 120 kilowatts to a massive 350 roughly 470 horsepower. And this is exactly what's worrying the drivers. It means cars will rely far more on the electric system than on traditional engine power. The concern? Drivers could lose all power at the end of a straight, precisely when they need it most for overtaking. Another major talking point is speed. Experts predict the 2026 cars could be 2 to 3 seconds slower per lap compared to today's machines. Of course, safety remains a top priority, but if cars are getting slower, fans and drivers alike are asking, what's the real goal here? Yes, narrower chassis are a step in the right direction for enabling better overtaking, but with DRS gone and active aerodynamics making a comeback, there's still a giant question mark over how teams will navigate this new era. Drivers will also face a new challenge, regenerating battery energy during braking and deploying it on the straights. But again, there's a huge risk losing that stored energy right at the crucial moment when committing to an overtake. On the flip side, active aerodynamics could make things very interesting. The new system will have two modes, X and Z. The X mode will focus on drag reduction for straights, while Z mode will maximize downforce in corners. Sure, this is something drivers have requested from the current generation of cars, but it's not without its uncertainties. The truth is, there are still countless unknowns and concerns about the overall direction of these regulations. And this is why criticism from drivers like Stroll hasn't slowed down. As Lance himself added, "I don't love the idea of the new regulations, and I think a lot of drivers can agree on that. And I don't think some of them can talk about it for political reasons. It's exciting to think about cars that can scream a little louder, be lighter, and not just depend or focus so much on energy or batteries or the powertrain. That's not very racy." Normally, comments like these from Stroll might have been brushed off or even laughed at, but he's not alone this time. Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque driver leading the charge for Ferrari and potentially battling Mercedes and Honda for engine dominances, also expressed his reservations about the rest of these regulations. And when drivers of this caliber start voicing doubts, you know there's something worth paying attention to. Adding further to the ongoing debate, Lando Norris, referred to as Lair in the original text, shared his own blunt opinion. "Let's say it's not the most enjoyable race car I've driven so far, but we're still in a moment where the project is relatively new. My hope relies on the fact that it will evolve quite a bit in the next few months. But it's no secret that I think the regulations for next year are going to make it a lot less enjoyable for drivers to drive. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it for now, but it's the way it is. And at the end of the day, I think there is a challenge, and I would like the challenge of maximizing a very different car from what it is at the moment. But do I enjoy it? Probably not." We all know Max Verstappen isn't one to hold back, especially when it comes to new FIA or Formula One regulations. And he's not alone. Former Red Bull team principal Christian Horner even went as far as calling the 2026 cars a Frankenstein project, warning that teams will face enormous challenges in adapting to the new designs. Verstappen's stance is clear. He doesn't believe these innovations are necessary. If anything, he argues, changes should bring back the thrill of early 2000s racing, an opinion echoed by Lance Stroll, but Toto Wolff strongly disagrees. The Mercedes boss, who is reportedly eyeing Verstappen for a potential future move, believes that Mohammed Ben Sulayem and the FIA are absolutely moving in the right direction with these rule changes. In his words, "Some cars have been good fun for the drivers to drive. Some tires have been good fun, others not. So, in a way, everybody will get used to it. Looking at simulations of today, it's very difficult to exactly know how it's going to be next year. It's a super challenging new regulation in making those energy levels last throughout the lap on some of the tracks. Clearly, at the moment, it's still challenging, but the pace of innovation is huge, and it's always been the case in Formula One. I believe that we're on the right trajectory. However, Verstappen's doubts are far from baseless. F1 pundits, including Tom Coronel, have warned that Red Bull could face serious issues heading into 2026, particularly with wind tunnel limitations. On top of that, concerns are growing over Red Bull's partnership with Ford, which many fear may not deliver as expected. This uncertainty has fueled speculation that Verstappen might consider leaving the Austrian team for one that better understands this new era of regulations. The FIA isn't ignoring these concerns. Its president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, has openly stated that work is ongoing behind closed doors to ensure that teams and drivers are satisfied. After all, keeping the grid happy is crucial to the sport's growth. In a surprising twist, Sulayem has even hinted at the return of V8 engines by 2029, a move that has fans buzzing with excitement. As he explained, "The current engine is so complicated you have no idea, and it's costly. Research and development is reaching $200 million, and the engine costs approximately $1.8 to $2.1 million. So if we go with a straight V8, let's see. Many of the manufacturers produce V8s in their cars. So commercially, it's correct. To us, the V8 is happening with the teams. Now, I'm very optimistic and happy about it. Formula One management are supportive. The teams are realizing it the right way. Still, there's a larger issue at play, the drivers' growing dissatisfaction. While these regulations have attracted manufacturers like Audi to join the sport, the heart and soul of Formula One, the spirit of pure racing, must remain intact. And let's not forget the cost factor when it comes to reintroducing V8 engines. Changes to transmissions, fuel, and other components will also need to be accounted for. Ultimately, it's now up to the FIA to respond to the loud criticisms voiced by drivers like Stroll, Verstappen, and Norris. But for now, it doesn't look like these competitors will get their wishes fulfilled anytime soon. With all of this in mind, what do you think about the backlash surrounding the new Regulation 7 before they've officially started? And perhaps the bigger question is, where do you see drivers like Verstappen going if things don't go their way? Let us know in the comments below. And once you've shared your thoughts, make sure to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.